Once we have calculated the probabilities as shown in the lower grid, we would typically look at the probabilities of the F values. Here's one of those, here's one of those, here's one of those, for example. And we would conclude that two mean costs for hospitals were different if the probability of the F test was less than 0.05. In that framework, we would say that Dare is different from Catawba, Beaufort is different from Catawba, and Albemarle is different from Catawba. There's one problem with this, however, which is that we are doing 6 statistical tests. If we were to do 100 statistical tests at the 0.05 level, we would expect 5 of those to be significant, even if significance did not exist. Similarly, if we're doing 6 tests, we have increased the probability of finding a result less than 0.05, even if the two means do not differ. What this means is we have to use an adjusted alpha level rather than 0.05, a lower level, to assure that we have an overall level of 0.05 for all 6 of the tests together. So the question is, how do we create that adjusted alpha? We'll put the probability adjusted here in this cell. In order to get that, we're going to use the formula given in 10.6 on page 312. That formula says that the adjusted alpha is 1 minus the cth root of 1 minus alpha. It's difficult to take the cth root, but Excel allows us to raise the value of 1 minus alpha to the power of 1 over c. This is the same as taking the cth root. So in order to get the adjusted probability, we'll say equal 1 minus, and alpha is 0.05, and then we will raise that to 1 divided by the number of tests we have made, which is 6. That is the value of C. And when we hit enter, we see that our adjusted alpha level is 0.0085. In other words, we will reject the null hypothesis of independence between costs and 2 hospitals compared together only if the probability that we see up here is less than 0.008. So on the basis of that adjusted alpha, we would conclude that Catawba is different from Dare, but we would not conclude that Beaufort is different from Catawba or that Albemarle is different from Catawba. It should be remembered that this is a very conservative test, but it gives a level of 0.05 across all 6 tests.